The president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has asked African policymakers to prepare for the inevitable global food crisis on the back of the Russia-Ukraine war, now in its second month. Speaking at the African Center of the Atlantic Council last week in Washington, D.C., Dr. Adesina explained that 90% of Russia's $4 billion exports to Africa in 2020 was made up of wheat, while 48% of Ukraine's nearly $3 billion exports to Africa was made up of wheat and 31% of maize. So, how can Nigeria raise its local food production in order to avert the looming food problem? Now, I'm introducing you to my guest, Izaki Arabi. He's an author, farmer, and managing partner at Corporate Farmers Nigeria. It's great having you on the show tonight.
Thank you, Wilson.
Thank you very much for coming through. Now let me start by asking you, what do you make of the AFDB president's call on Africa to prepare for the inevitability of a global food crisis?
Well, Wilson, thank you very much for asking that question. As I say, Adesina is a leader in the ecosystem, basically in the agri space. You know, he's a leader for years. And for him to come out at this crucial point, meaning that there are red flags all around us, not only in Nigeria alone, but Africa at large, even the world at large. There's a saying that always says that it means that, look, at this point in time, we need to just get it right because the red flags are there, the war is there, the food crisis is looming. A typical example is what is in the market. For example, the price of a common egg that is known to a common Nigerian is as high as 100 naira 120. But in January, it was barely 40 naira 50 naira, but now 100 naira 120. Definitely, Adesina is doing the right thing at the right time. Dr. Adesina, I mean, putting it out there for world leaders to see that, look, if you don't take care of food crisis now, it's going to be critical. It's going to be hunger for the entire universe, not only Africa, but the entire universe at large. And therefore, he needs to call all stakeholders, which is what he has done, basically meeting them in Washington, D.C. last week, to ensure that the food leaders across all continents come together and provide significant solutions that would help solve these problems, solutions that would help reduce the rate of food crisis that is growing every day in the continent at large.
We need an innovative approach to increase and sustain local production. What would you like to see for Nigeria? We're the largest, most populated country on the African continent. So charity begins at home, if you ask me.
All right.
200 million people.
Yeah.
Where are we going to go? We have nowhere else to go. So what innovative approach would you like to see in terms of increasing our food production at the federal, at state, and local government level? By the way, food is local, so there's no need to...
Definitely.
It's simple.
Now, you see, Bosin, this cut across several phases or different classes. Number one, taking it from the federal government. Now, what are the roles of federal government in solving food crisis? It talks about policies. Federal government needs to make policies that will enable private-public partnership and enhance more investment towards food production today in Nigeria. Now, let's bring it down to state. Now, what does state needs to do? I always use Lagos State government or Lagos State, agric as always a yardstick for any state government. I can say it confidently anywhere. Lagos State have been able, regardless of the small land that Lagos has, they've been able to build certain structures around the entire ecosystem that bring in both private sectors, that bring in foreign investors, that bring in the youth, the women, and also local farmers into the farming system.
Will anyone argue with you? Perhaps I will do the argument that is because Lagos has the money. Is it about the money?
No, it's not about the money. It's about putting the right strategy together and putting the right brain together. For example, I can say, well, that it is led by a woman, Miss Abisola Olusoya, who has been able to put the right brains together and ensure that certain things are more put in place in ensuring food production in Lagos State. And that is why I always say, look, the strategy Lagos State has put together to cut, for example, if you look at several farm estates today in Nigeria, it is done by this government. So, meaning that in every local government, you have certain estates that speaks towards food production across Lagos State.
Food, you have to talk about food estates. It looks like folks want to build more real estate than food estates. That's where it is, because you find some state governments that are agrarian in nature.
Yes.
That's how they were endowed. Now, instead of moving it deep into agriculture, they're building marketplace. They're building real estate.
Yes. Now, for Lagos State, and because the capacity is there, the youth is there, the number is there, Lagos State saw that strategy and said, look, we need to build more into food production rather than focusing on real estate. Though they are doing their bit in real estate, but food production again, for example, they have several youth institutes across several parts of the state, whereby youth can come in, get trained, and also get empowered and become their own farmers, thereby producing more.
Akin, you and your colleagues and your team have been across several states across Nigeria.
Definitely.
And I keep asking you this question each time we meet. Are you seeing on the ground that the spirit and the verve which perhaps Lagos State is moving and talking about agriculture, if we keep using Lagos State as a barometer, is happening outside states where you have 99% of land, 1% of water, against Lagos State that has more about 99% water and 1% land?
Well, this is what I'm going to say. Now, because I work closely with the government.
Don't be politically correct.
No, yes, I understand. But because I work with them, and I've seen the level of interstate relationship they've been able to build over time. That is one. Then also, leaving it from Lagos State alone and leaving it to other private sectors. Now, we need to build associations across all boundaries that will say, okay,
association of farmers?
Farmers.
Aren't these farmers, don't they have associations? Yeah, they have associations.
Yeah, but boss, again, the question is, if the associations, why are we having food crisis? What is the problem? What's happened to the associations?
What do the farmers associations, what do they need?
Now, what they need definitely are basically backups, either financial, either policies, either strategy, to ensure that they meet the major objective in which they are created to do. That is a simple objective. Not that an association will just be created and do nothing to ensure that food production is created or well settled.
Don't you think we've gotten to a point in which agric policies from Abuja would not really resolve this problem? We need to devolve, because land belongs to states and local governments.
Yes.
So why is it difficult
to
plant on the land that exists within your jurisdiction?
Bossing is not difficult. You know, policies from assault happens day in government out. But again, if a government is really serious,
look, agriculture is not an exclusive list.
No, it's not. I understand, but
it's not like petrol.
It's not.
It's not crude oil.
No, but if a government is serious to take it together and build on it,
what the states and local government?
Yes. Look, if you want to build it together, you need to bring all arms together, all private sectors together, and say, look, this is our focus for the next 5 years.
What are you doing in your state, for example, now? Is that what you're talking about? In my state, what's the agric policy in XY state?
Now, if I'm going to pick two different states, Lagos and Ogun State, as my major pointer for this, I can say clearly that those two states have been focused for the past 4 years in building policies that will help them to transcend their youth, the women, into a food security state. Though it might be slow, but definitely day in, day out, we could see what the states are doing in ensuring food productivity is happening in those states. I know the government, the commissioner for states in Ogun State, Samson Odejino, very typical man, a local farmer, also is a commissioner. But you see him in the bush, you see him in the forest, ensuring that his farmers are provided with the needed input for food security. Likewise, the commissioner for Lagos State. I've worked with them. I know them. And I see
two states out of 36. We still have 34 states. Talk to me.
Bossy, let's be clear again.
That's a failure. That's F9. If you're in school, we are not scoring. We're a failure.
Yeah, in agriculture, in Nigeria as a whole, we are not there yet. We are not there. The state government, the federal government needs to look. For example, I was telling someone, when Kaduna actually did a maize pyramid, why can't we have maize pyramid across the entire country? We plant maize across the entire country.
Every country.
Yes, across the states.
Southeast, southwest,
everybody plants maize.
Yes.
Why can't we have maize pyramid in Lagos, maize pyramid in Kaduna, in Kebbi, maize pyramid in Adamawa, maize pyramid in Abia? Why can't we? It's possible. But definitely, the state again needs to put more energy in food security in their respective states.
Government officials seem to talk more about fuel, petrol, diesel, and other things. Nobody's talking really much about agriculture, and Minister of Agriculture haven't seemed to be the man with the boots on the ground from what I see as a journalist.
Well, I don't work in the federal ministry, but what we've also seen is that, look, I always tell people, and I need to be blunt about this, Federal governments, yes, they've played their part. But again, this is the season where is the season of transcending into another government. And definitely at this point in time, focus of government will be more into politics. And that is always a problem. That look, why can't you focus in building a structure that would ride by itself? Even if you're changing government, definitely this sector must not suffer. Agric must not suffer. For example, let me give a typical example. Before a politician leaves his home in the morning, he must fuel his tank. Before you put people together to come and campaign, they must fuel their tank.
My friend, even the bandits and the kidnappers need food.
Yes. There was a day I was saying...
whether you're in the devil's workship or you're not, we all need food. And that's where it's striking me that this crisis is likely going to be real. If we're not careful.
The red flags are there. It's not like it's going to be. It is real. And one thing that we've done at Corporate Farmers is this. We've been able to build structures around private associations whereby groups can come together, either in churches, either in mosques, either in other associations to come together and say, look, let's take farming serious.
Okay. Maybe from 2, 3, 4, 5, so you guys have done, maybe we'll just give you guys the job to just do it across the 36 states of the Federation.
Thank you very much,
well, let's move in motion. Let's see whether it happens. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much,
tonight. It's the start of the week.
Thank you very
so much.
much.
Aki Alabi, managing partner at Corporate Farmers Limited.